Country music has always carried the heart and soul of America, but it didn't stay the same. Over the decades, a handful of legends took the genre and transformed it into something bigger, bolder, and unforgettable. From haunting ballads to stadium anthems, their voices and stories redefined country forever. In this video, we look at Maui country legends whose influence reshaped the genre and left a legacy no fan can ignore. Hank Williams. Hank Williams is often called the father of modern country music, and for good reason. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, his haunting lyrics and raw voice captured emotions that had rarely been expressed so openly in the genre. With classics like I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry and Your Cheating Heart, Hank transformed simple honky-tonk into timeless poetry that resonated across America. At the height of his career, Williams was unstoppable. His music crossed boundaries, finding fans not only among rural listeners but also in mainstream audiences. He managed to distill heartbreak, longing, and human weakness into songs that were as relatable then as they are now. His ability to merge gospel influences with honky-tonk rhythms created a style that defined what country music could become. Yet, behind the success lay tragedy. Struggles with alcoholism and health issues plagued him, and his life ended tragically young at just 29 years old. Despite this short life, his influence continued to echo, inspiring generations of country stars from Johnny Cash to Bob Dylan. Hank Williams didn't just write songs. He wrote the blueprint for modern country. His legacy is proof that authenticity and raw storytelling can change a genre forever. 2. Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash, known as the Man in Black, carved a path in country music unlike anyone else. With his deep, booming voice and unapologetic style, he gave the genre a darker, more rebellious edge. Songs like Folsom Prison Blues and I Walk the Line spoke directly to outcasts, dreamers, and working-class people, turning Cash into a symbol of raw honesty. At his peak, Cash's influence reached far beyond country. He fused folk, rock, and gospel into his music, and breaking down barriers between genres. His legendary live performances at Folsom and San Quentin prisons remain some of the most powerful cultural moments in American music history. By addressing themes of sin, redemption, and justice, he gave country music a depth that was rarely explored before. Cash's struggles with addiction and personal demons only added to his authenticity. He was never afraid to show his flaws, and that vulnerability connected him to millions of fans. His collaborations, from June Carter Cash to Bob Dylan, expanded country's reach and proved its versatility. Johnny Cash didn't just influence country, he made it universal. His voice became the conscience of the genre, reminding the world that country music could carry weight, rebellion, and soul all at once. 3. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is more than a country singer. She's a cultural icon whose impact reaches far beyond music. With her unmistakable voice, sharp songwriting, and magnetic personality, she reshaped the role of women in country. Songs like Jolene and Coat of Many Colors revealed her gift for storytelling, blending vulnerability with strength in ways that touched millions. Rising from humble beginnings in rural Tennessee, Dolly turned personal struggles into universal anthems. She dominated the charts in the 1970s and 80s, balancing heartfelt ballads with playful hits like 9 to 5. Her crossover into pop made country accessible to a global audience, proving the genre could thrive outside its traditional boundaries. Beyond music, Dolly Parton became a symbol of empowerment and resilience. She stood tall in an industry dominated by men, paving the way for countless female artists. At the same time, her philanthropy, especially her Imagination Library project, cemented her as one of the most beloved public figures in America. Dolly's legacy is more than her hits. It's her ability to carry the soul of country while making it sparkle on the world stage. Few artists have ever changed the genre so gracefully, and none with her enduring warmth. Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is one of the most distinctive voices in country music history, a rebel, a poet, and a pioneer who reshaped the sound of the genre. With his weathered voice and offbeat phrasing, Willie broke away from the polished Nashville sound of the 1960s and led the outlaw country movement of the 1970s. His songs like Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and On the Road Again became anthems for freedom and independence. At his peak, Willie Nelson embodied authenticity. He rejected the glossy production dominating country radio and instead embraced raw emotion, simple arrangements, and storytelling rooted in truth. His collaborations with Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, and Johnny Cash in The Highwaymen cemented his place as a revolutionary force, proving that country could thrive outside the traditional system. But Willie wasn't just a singer. He was a songwriter whose work crossed genres. Classics like Crazy, made famous by Patsy Cline, showed his genius for crafting timeless melodies. His openness to blend country with jazz, blues, and folk pushed the genre forward and kept it alive for new generations. Willie Nelson didn't just change country music, he gave it a soul that valued honesty over perfection. Even today, his braids, bandana, and voice stand as symbols of a legend who redefined what it means to be country. 5. Patsy Cline. Patsy Cline brought a voice to country music that was unlike anything the genre had ever heard. With her rich, emotional tone and effortless phrasing, she elevated country ballads into timeless works of art. Songs like Crazy and I Fall to Pieces remain among the most iconic in American music, blending vulnerability and power in ways that reshaped the sound of the 1960s. At a time when female artists were often sidelined, Patsy broke through the barriers of Nashville's male-dominated industry. She became one of the first women in country to achieve true crossover success, drawing in pop audiences without losing her country roots. Her ability to balance heartfelt sincerity with mainstream appeal paved the way for generations of female country singers who followed. Despite her success, Patsy's career was tragically short. In 1963, she died in a plane crash at just 30 years old, leaving behind a legacy that felt both incomplete and immortal. Yet even in her brief career, she redefined the standards of vocal performance in country music. Patsy Cline didn't just sing songs, she lived them. Her voice continues to inspire artists across genres, reminding us that country music can be both deeply personal and universally moving. 6. Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn, often called the coal miner's daughter, gave country music a fearless female voice that spoke directly to working-class women. Rising from poverty in rural Kentucky, she transformed her life story into powerful songs that challenged tradition and gave women a place in the heart of the genre. With hits like Don't Come Home a-Drinkin' and The Pill, Loretta addressed topics most singers of her time wouldn't dare touch: marital strife, birth control, and the daily struggles of women. At her peak in the 1960s and 70s, Lynn dominated the charts, becoming one of the most influential singer-songwriters of her generation. Her music was unapologetically honest, capturing the realities of love, hardship, and survival. By writing from a woman's perspective, she pushed country music into new territory and gave countless fans a voice they had long been denied. Her story was immortalized in the film Coal Miner's Daughter, which introduced her legacy to a wider audience and secured her place as an American icon. Beyond the fame, Loretta Lynn opened doors for future female stars like Reba McEntire, Shania Twain, and Miranda Lambert. Loretta Lynn changed country forever by proving that the truth, especially a woman's truth, belonged at the center of the genre. Her courage and storytelling still echo today. Bạn có muốn tôi viết tiếp nhân vật số 7? 7. Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks revolutionized country music in the 1990s, turning it into a stadium-filling phenomenon. With his high-energy performances, dramatic stage presence, and crossover appeal, he brought country to audiences who had never considered themselves fans of the genre. Songs like Friends in Low Places and The Dance became cultural touchstones, blending traditional country storytelling with pop and rock influences. At his peak, Garth wasn't just a singer. He was an entertainer on a scale country had never seen. He introduced pyrotechnics, large-scale tours, and arena-style shows, borrowing from rock concerts to create unforgettable live experiences. This approach redefined how country artists connected with fans and elevated the genre's commercial success. Brooks also broke records that seemed untouchable. He became one of the best-selling solo artists of all time, surpassing even Elvis Presley in U.S. album sales. His ability to balance heartfelt ballads with rowdy anthems made him relatable to both die-hard country listeners and mainstream audiences. Garth Brooks changed country music forever by proving it could be both deeply authentic and massively popular. His influence paved the way for today's generation of crossover stars, showing that country could dominate the global stage without losing its roots. Tammy Wynette, forever known as the First Lady of country music, brought raw honesty and deep emotion to the genre in ways that had never been heard before. Her signature song, Stand By Your Man, became one of the most recognizable tracks in country history, cementing her as both a voice of tradition and controversy. Through her powerful vocals, Tammy gave country music a new level of intensity and vulnerability. At the height of her career in the late 1960s and 70s, Wynette dominated the charts with a string of hits that explored heartbreak, resilience, and the complexity of relationships. Unlike many of her peers, she didn't shy away from portraying the struggles women faced in love and life. Her music resonated with millions, particularly women who felt their own stories reflected in her songs. Despite her success, Tammy's life was marked by turbulence, failed marriages, health problems, and personal battles that mirrored the pain in her lyrics. Yet those very struggles made her performances authentic, ensuring her place as a true legend of the genre. Tammy Wynette changed country music by giving it a stronger female perspective, one filled with courage, heartbreak, and resilience. Her legacy endures as a reminder that the truest country songs come from lived experience. George Jones. George Jones is often hailed as the greatest voice in country music. With his unmatched ability to convey heartbreak, regret, and longing, he set a standard for emotional storytelling that few have ever reached. Songs like He Stopped Loving Her Today and The Grand Tour became masterpieces, showcasing his gift for turning pain into poetry. At the height of his career, Jones was both a superstar and a troubled soul. Known as Possum for his sharp features, he battled alcoholism and personal demons that often overshadowed his talent. Yet, when he stepped up to the microphone, his voice carried an authenticity that no studio polish could replicate. He turned country music into a confessional, where listeners felt every tear, every crack in the heart. His turbulent relationship and duets with Tammy Wynette created some of the genre's most unforgettable moments, both musically and personally. Together, they embodied the highs and lows of love in country life, giving fans an intimate glimpse into their world. George Jones changed country music forever by proving that pure emotion could be more powerful than perfection. His voice became the very definition of traditional country, and his influence still echoes through every artist who dares to sing about heartbreak. 10. Emmylou Harris. Emmylou Harris brought grace, sophistication, and artistic depth to country music. With her crystalline voice and fearless creativity, she bridged the gap between traditional country, folk, and rock, reshaping the genre in the 1970s and beyond. Songs like Boulder to Birmingham and her interpretations of classics revealed not only her vocal brilliance, but also her ability to honor tradition while pushing boundaries. At her peak, Harris became known for her collaborations. Working with Graham Parsons, she helped pioneer country rock, opening the door for a new generation of artists who blended styles. Later, her solo albums and partnerships with legends like Dolly Parton and Linda Ronstadt showcased her versatility and expanded country's reach to broader audiences. Emmylou's artistry went beyond chart success. She became a champion of Americana and roots music, helping preserve the essence of country while ensuring its evolution. Her ethereal stage presence and commitment to authenticity inspired countless female artists to pursue careers outside the mainstream Nashville mold. Emmylou Harris changed country by proving that it could be elegant, experimental, and timeless all at once. She gave the genre wings, showing that country music could soar across boundaries without ever losing its soul. 11. Charley Pride. Charley Pride broke barriers in country music at a time when the genre was overwhelmingly white. As one of the first black superstars in country, he not only achieved massive success, but also challenged long-standing racial divides within the industry. With hits like Kiss an Angel Good Mornin' and Is Anybody Going to San Antone, Pride became a household name and a symbol of perseverance. At his peak in the late 1960s and 1970s, Pride topped the charts again and again, eventually earning over 30 number-one singles. His warm baritone voice and traditional style appealed to fans across the spectrum, proving that great music transcends skin color. In an era marked by civil rights struggles, his success in country was nothing short of groundbreaking. Despite the challenges he faced, Pride carried himself with grace and dignity. He often said he wanted to be judged by his voice, not his race, and the music industry listened. His induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame confirmed his place among the legends who shaped the genre. Charlie Pride forever changed country music by proving it could belong to everyone. His legacy opened doors for future generations and ensured that the story of country is one of inclusion as well as tradition. 12. Shania Twain. Shania Twain redefined country music for a global audience in the 1990s. With her record-breaking album Come On Over, she fused country with pop in a way that was fresh, bold, and irresistible. Songs like Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and You're Still the One became worldwide anthems, introducing millions to country music who had never touched the genre before. At her peak, Shania was more than a singer. She was a trailblazer. Her fearless image, confident lyrics, and polished sound challenged the traditional mold of country women. By embracing crossover appeal, she shattered barriers and became one of the best-selling female artists in history, not just in country, but across all genres. Behind her glittering success, Shania also overcame personal struggles, including illness and heartbreak, which only added to her resilience. She showed that country music could be glamorous and powerful, without losing the emotional storytelling at its core. Shania Twain changed country forever by proving it could compete on the world stage. She inspired a new generation of artists to blend genres and reach broader audiences, leaving a legacy of empowerment, innovation, and unapologetic ambition.